Hello everyone, this is Doug again. Today's topic, I'm going to say it's bugging out. The situation scenario is you have to bug out. You have to leave. I know there's quite a few of us that we have our own theories that we'll defend to the death. That's our own philosophy. We'll defend our house, everything we got to the death. We're not going to go anywhere. And that's a lot easier for me to say because we're excuse me, where I live in Wisconsin, the town's only city, 44,000, 45,000 people. And we'll have problems with looting and stuff like that. But major problems would happen in major cities. I was talking to one of my subscribers on telephone last night, and he lives out in California, uh, um, Dapang. You know, what he was telling me, he lives close to Sacramento, and he was saying that any kind of event, and whether it's economic collapse or whatever, Sacramento, Oakland, LA, it's going to go crazy. So the thing is we're talking, and what stimulated my thinking is he has his own bug out location about 5-6 hours away, but he thinks that would probably be unlikely, and he does have another bug out location, a second, a primary, which is about 45 minutes away. There's a lot to think of that. If we have to bug out, what stuff do we take? My wife has a car, and I have a Ford Explorer. We could fit the kids and stuff in there. What are the things we leave behind? If I'd fill up my truck and my wife's car entirely just with our water reserves, we won't have room for any food. So how much stuff are we going to leave behind? I would say we'd probably have to give up one half to 2/3 of our water, and hoping any place that we do go to has water, or we have a water filtration system, and we do got a small one for that. Um, the most important thing is making sure that kids, clothes or bug out bags that we go in the back of the truck. We would have food. We'd have enough food. Um, all firearms, ammunitions, knives, all that stuff would go. Um, but it makes a if we had to bug out, would we bug out on the first day? Let's say we see a stock market crash or a war or something like that event that would happen. And can you see these major highways getting congested? I can see what happened in Oakland or Chicago or these big cities. In Wisconsin, the three major highways is, let's say, I-94, 151, and 41. If between just them three locations would prevent anybody from going north, and that goes from just before Milwaukee to the rest of the state. It will control traffic and everything. And the big thing is, what kind of location would we look for? Look toward. What would we want? Hypothetically, I'd rather have a building. If I had to move out, it couldn't be a big building. Ain't gonna be. Nor would I try to take over a big store like Walmart. But if I could find an abandoned building or house, that would be an ideal. Um, a lot of people think they can go out there with their tents and go pitch a tent in the woods. Let's go to the campgrounds. That may be semi okay during the summer, but the thing is bugs, insects. We still have to wash up and stay clean, because if we don't stay clean, we get sick. And some people are under the delusion, that they can just go out there into the wilderness. About a month ago, I was out hiking with my kids in a woods, and it didn't start getting warm here in Wisconsin till, let's say, a month ago. We were out in the woods because I'm used to it being a little cold, 60 degrees out, 55, 60, and 65 degrees. And so what I did is I was out in the woods down by the river, and I got stung by a whole bunch of mosquitoes. I forgot to bring my bug spray to keep the insects away. So God, it would drive me nuts if I had to stay out there months on end in a place. But at the same time, if we only have a tent, we cannot expect to live out in a tent during the wintertime. Whatever I'd have would have to be um, a big enough house, and to provide shelter from wind and the rain, and we preferably would have to have bathroom facilities, and if we can get water. But we could, with going to the bathroom, it might have to be outside if the water's working or not. And what I'd prefer something like a brick building or one of them old-fashioned log cabins, but because they'd provide thickness, but it had to be a place where it's defensible. But remember, as soon as the event happens, these highways, streets, and stuff are going to be congested. All gas at the gas pumps. If we're bugging out, my Ford Explorer gets, I believe, $228 to a tank of gas. I would have to have a couple, maybe 5-gallon buckets, or them red cans and stuff like that to leave. So that would take up a lot of room. And even if I get two 5-gallon cans of gas, that's 10 gallons, and that'll take me from what 228 miles to about 360. So wherever location I'd have to go to, I have to be able to have gas to get there. I don't want to get there with only a quarter tank gas or close to be empty. But I would want, if I could, have enough tanks and gas and stuff like that. I'd want to be able to at least drive afterward. I just don't want to get to a place and have to park my vehicle and I won't be able to drive. Some areas and stuff like New York City, people might have to bug out on foot, and that is very dangerous. I wouldn't recommend that. But if you had to move out of like New York City or Oakland, if anarchy is going to become a very major problem. But will we bug out immediately the first day, or let's say we wait a week or two? If we wait a couple weeks, a lot of people get sick, they die because of infections, diseases. Anytime there's an economic collapse, like look what happened to Haiti with the earthquake a couple years ago. Typhoid, cholera, dysentery. People have malnutrition, famine, and people get sick, and people ain't gonna be able to get to the stores. And even if you could get out on the highways, who knows? It isn't that hard for the army to set up roadblocks, checking everybody's ID. And let's say you got your firearms or whatever in your truck, and them for the confiscate weapons if you're leaving. Confiscate it all. And that's kind of a big thing too. We can get stopped right out there going, at a roadblock. They can just start taking weapons or whatever from somebody. I'm not saying, that's a conspiracy theorist kind of an attitude, but they could stop us. Or it doesn't, what kind of vehicle do you got? If the roads are completely congested, could you drive in a field? But then here in Wisconsin, a lot of fields are like with corn, and they got grain and agriculture and stuff growing, and if we drive through somebody's field, we're going to be killing some of their agriculture and stuff, food they're going to eat, or you can get stuck. And that's kind of the big thing. Like I live an hour north of Milwaukee, and there's not many cities in between, so if I broke down with my vehicle, what do I do? Now, not only did I leave half of my food and whatever supplies home, blankets or whatever I got at home, but now I got them in the vehicles, and I stop. I can't carry all this stuff, and now I got to dump more stuff. I got to get rid of more gear or whatever I can't carry. It'd be kind of hard carrying, for me and my kids to carry all the ammo canisters. I'd have to drop stuff. I think a lot of it has to do with where would we go. It makes a difference between summer, winter. It wouldn't pay to leave during the winter time is because it would be so cold out. Where do you go? A tent won't stop bullets. I'm hoping I can stimulate everybody's thought, and I'd like to hear some video response to what other people would do. Okay. I want to say, thank you for subscribing to all my subscribers, and I really appreciate all the support, and thank you. So far, I've never had any trolls. Thanks a lot. God bless, Duck.